Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be talking about Tampa Bay Buccaneers star linebacker Lavonte David, because I read a comment recently from the game's 7,400, and he said, should Lavonte David retire? And we're going to be talking about that and whether or not he should or should not retire, or will he not retire. Now, Lavonte David is one of the greatest defensive players in Tampa Bay Buccaneers history, okay? He's played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for 13 years, guys, over a decade of Lavonte David. During this time, he has amassed 1,602 combined tackles, 1,111 solo tackles, 491 assisted tackles, 169 tackles for loss, 73 quarterback hits, 39 sacks, 19 fumbles recovered, one of which was returned for a touchdown, 31 forced fumbles, 70 passes deflected, 13 interceptions, two of which were returned for touchdowns. He has played and started in 198 total games for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you could argue he is a top 3 to 4 defensive player in Tampa Bay Buccaneers history, along names such as Leroy Selman, Rondé Barber, Derek Brooks, and you could argue he's even better as a career Buccaneer than guys like Warren Sapp and even John Lynch in there as well. He is a two-time second-team All-Pro, a one-time first-team All-Pro, a Pro Bowler, a Super Bowl winner. Lavonte David's done it all for the Buccaneers. He's one of the best defensive players in NFL history, right? But he did just turn 35 years old. And whenever we take a look at the overall statistics of Lavonte David this past season in 2024, in some ways was notable. He did have 5.5 sacks. That was the second best mark of his entire career. That's actually the second highest number of sacks he's had, the first being all the way back in 2013. So Lavonte David just posted the most sacks in his career in over a decade, right? That's notable. But whenever you take a look at combined tackles, it is below average in terms of his NFL career so far to this point. In terms of tackles for loss, it's near the lowest of his career. In forced fumbles, it's a little bit around the middle. In terms of interceptions, it's a little bit around the middle with one. In terms of solo tackles, however, that's towards the lower end of his career. So it does seem like into his later ages here, age 34, going into age 35, Lavonte David is slowing down a little bit. And Joel M. 220 left a very interesting comment on the video I just made recently talking about some of the potential free agents the Buccaneers could bring in. He did say, what's Lavonte David's coverage grade at his age if he returns? So good question here from Joel. So to kind of take a look at that and Lavonte David's Pro Football Focus grades this past season, he was a bit of a mixed bag. He had an overall grade of 68.7. That was 64th out of 189 linebackers in the league. A 65.7 pass rush grade. That was 50th out of 189 linebackers in the league. A run defense grade of 75.8. That was 42nd out of 189 linebackers in this league. And a coverage grade of 59.5. That was 92nd out of 189 linebackers in this league. So Lavonte David has taken a step back, right? I think that is a fair thing to say, okay? We have seen him take a bit of a step back in terms of his overall grades, in terms of what he has been for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in seasons past, right? And of course that happens with age, right? Father Time is undefeated. It is what it is, right? But what does this mean going forward, right? Should Lavonte David retire? I'm going to say he shouldn't if he doesn't want to. I think that you could still get good play, serviceable play, let's say, out of Lavonte David. A really good example of a linebacker still going strong, even at the age of 34, 35 years old, is Bobby Wagner, a very, very good example as well. He just played 17 total games for Washington, made it all the way to the NFC Championship game, posted over 130 tackles, 2 sacks. He still had 4 passes deflected. Now Bobby Wagner and Lavonte David have always been compared to one another throughout the entirety of their careers. But I think that Lavonte David can still give you probably one more year if he wants to play, right? So in my opinion, I don't think he should retire if he doesn't want to, right? I don't think he's necessarily in a full-on position yet where he should be, say, forced into retirement, right? Where he should be told, like, hey, you should retire. I don't necessarily think that that's the case, but will he retire? That's the interesting conversation, right? And I say this every year, but in my opinion, I think he will retire. It seems like this year, more so than not, we did see him take a bit of a step back. And wow, it isn't, bad enough to the point where it's like, hey, man, you should retire. Does that make Lavonte David consider retirement even more? Right? Again, he's done it all for the Buccaneers. He has. I mean, all pros, Pro Bowl, Super Bowl champion, will likely end up, hopefully likely end up in the NFL Hall of Fame one day. Will is a for sure candidate for the Buccaneers Ring of Honor. He doesn't need to do much more in his NFL career, right? He's made a ton of money, has gotten a ton of accolades, has got the ring. He's done it all, right? He has done it all. So I do wonder how heavily Lavonte David is considering retirement this year. And if I had to give a guess, I think that he will end up saying, hey, I'm done. I'm going to retire. I've done it all. I gave it one more good year. We made the playoffs again. This is the best stretch of Lavonte David's career, right? From 2020 to the current day. Multiple playoff appearances, which he had never experienced before in his career. A Super Bowl win. He had never even came close to that before this current stretch. Like, Lavonte David has had 5 good last years of his career, right? Where you've seen playoff runs, where you've seen a Super Bowl championship, and I think he can go out with his head held high, right? Whether or not that will or won't happen, I guess we are going to have to wait and see, but in my opinion, I do believe it will happen. But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions about this down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Do you think Lavonte David will or won't retire? Let me know your thoughts and opinions about it down in the comments section below. I would love to hear it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed. As always, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.